Hi, this is Carrie from Scrapyard Chicks, and I wasn't going to do a video of this project, but I had a couple requests after people got their directions, so I wanted to kind of show you how this book goes together, because I think there was a little bit of confusion on kind of how the pages go together. So this is our 8x8 planner that we're doing. It's got this great little closure on the side, which is actually a ponytail holder. So the way that works is you secure that on the back with a brad through the back cover, and then it actually wraps around this brad that's on the front cover. So it's just a way to keep it closed. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. The base of this is one of those Preservation Series scrapbooks by SEI. Now this is a couple years old, so my calendars are outdated and everything, just like in the directions, but I can kind of show you how the book goes together. So on the covers, I know there was a question, you build the cover piece onto a piece of cardstock with these strips, and then you glue that whole thing down on the cover. I did the back and the front covers exactly alike. As far as using those strips. This is a double-sided paper, so where you can use, you get to see this both sides of the paper, which makes it really fun because you get lots of pattern there. So the way this book is put together is, inside of the front cover, you can put down one of those big sheets of calendar pages. I did the current year in the front cover, and then the upcoming year inside the back cover. And then each you've got different kinds of pages. We've got our pages that are in the 8x8 page protectors, which come with the scrapbook. And those are, so this is the front cover, and then it starts off with the January page on the back side. And then what I did is I just punched a thumb pull, so you end up with this nice pocket in here, so you could put cards, you could put tickets, whatever kind of memorabilia or anything that you wanted in there, just to help yourself stay organized. So that's how, so it's a sheet protector that you insert your pages into. And then I think where the confusion is in between each of those. So we've got all those sheet protectors. We're going to do these insert pages, which are these calendars. And I'm going to undo my book so I can show you what those look like. Those you are going to make, I apologize, my dogs are barking in the background. It's summer and everyone's out, so they're barking at every single little squirrel that goes by. So this is our page that's in the sheet protectors, and then this is the page that you're going to create, and this is created out of an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you actually cut it down so that it is it's 8 by 11, and then you're going to score it in, just like in the directions, at 3.5 inches. So what that does is that creates this little flap, and then you've got these printable pieces that you're going to do here. So I did important information, remember, on the front of that flap, and then on the back it's got the months. You could do like a birthday calendar or whatever you want to do. And then this is undated, so that way you can stamp or use sticker letters to put the date, the month on the bottom, and then you can fill it in with the current year's calendar. Okay, so this is one piece. So that's one piece of red. Now we've got this binding strip, and I think this is where people got confused, which is a piece of black cardstock. And it is 1 3/4 by 8. So what you're going to do is, and then you're going to score that in at 1/2 inch from the end. Punch the holes to match up with your page protectors, because you want these all to fit together. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to adhere that behind this red piece right here, so that the score line and the fold line match up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take another one of these pieces. I used a different color. Same idea. You're going to score it at 3.5 inches. You can glue your calendars on there. And then actually you're going to sandwich that black binding strip in between the two pages. So this is your binding strip. So this is the front of the page. And then when you turn it over, this is just, they're adhered back to back, just on the 8x8 part. This is the back side of it. And so the way that works is then, so we've got a page that is our sheet protector, and then we've got one of our inserts that you're going to make, and you've got all the directions for that. And then the next page is another one in the sheet protector that we've got February on the front, and I've got March on the back. And once again, I did a thumb pull at the top here, so that way it makes this great little pocket in between to insert your little pieces like that. So does that make, I hope that makes more sense to everybody, because I know I got a couple emails this morning, people were confused about their directions. So anyway, so in each page is basically done the same way. It's either a piece of cardstock or a piece of pattern paper with a 2x8 strip of either pattern or kind of a semi-solid on there. a calendar, and a quote, and then one photo mat. And the photo mats are all sized for you to do a full 4x6 picture on there. They're a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, so you can easily go through and customize this for a gift for somebody with 12 different 4x6 pictures. So that's the idea. So each one is a pretty simple idea for each page. So we've got, like I said, either cardstock or pattern paper, a quote. Your quotes are a little bit different than mine. I actually ended up creating a file, a printable file for you, so you can just print those on pattern paper. Mine were all hand stamped, so just to make it a little bit more simple. So it's your 8x8 piece of pattern paper, then you've got a 2x8 strip of the pattern. I went ahead and I matted my little mini calendar and my quote, and then it's got one photo mat. And then once again, after the February and the March, then the next pages are going to be one of these inserts that you make that's got March on the front and it's got April on the back. And then you just keep going through your book. So you've got all the directions in your printable piece to put this together. So I hope that clears up any confusion that you might have had. It is a great project for a gift. I've made these for a bunch of different people. It does take a lot of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So if you get a great sale on it, always a good opportunity to stock up and to really make these. You could also do it out of 12 by 12. You just end up with a bunch of scraps, which you could always use for something else. If you can't find these scrapbooks like this Preservation Series scrapbook, you could easily cut a chipboard cover and cover it with paper, and then you could do this flap as a cardstock or a duct tape fold over or something like that. And then you could use, these are like those things from an office, those prong fasteners. So you could put this book together yourself if you wanted to. You could also just bind it with rings. Another thing that you could do is you could do this into a standard regular 8x8 scrapbook. If you find one just a regular with, like post-bound pages or a 3-ring binder, whatever you like, to do a great little planner. So I hope that you enjoy. Here, I'm just going to put the cover back on, and I'm going to kind of quickly flip through the pages so you can kind of see what this looks like when it's all done. Sorry. So anyway, so there's lots of ways to customize this. Like I said, in the directions I told you, I used 6 different pattern papers. So we've got, so we start with our cover, then we've got January, we've got our January, February insert, February, March, and then our March and our April insert. Then we've got our April page, May. See how it just keeps going through. So this has got that little flap thing so that you can just add some little extra bits on there. You could definitely bind envelopes or something like that in with this. Just kind of whatever you like. Like I said, this was a project I did a couple years ago. It was really fun. It's a little bit time consuming because there is a lot of paper and a lot of folding. But it's very repetitive. There's a lot of, we just use the same kind of theme throughout the whole thing. So it's one of those that's great to do in bulk, like if you needed to do a bunch of gifts for somebody. Now when you get to the very last page, December is going to be by itself. So I just did a plain piece of cardstock behind December, so I end up with that one last pocket. And then my next year's calendar is inside the back cover. So then it's all set. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you have any more questions, feel free to drop an email to us and I'll try and answer them. Thanks.